Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with me tonight for another class sponsored by Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. Tonight, the topic is about starting the year right. It's a welcome to 2024, and I'm going to give you some tips and some information to start your year right, your year right. And I hope to have a little bit of fun as well, right? So I will be asking you some questions. If you have a pen and a notebook, if you're watching this on YouTube, please get a pen and a notebook so you write down some of the uh, things that we're going to be talking tonight. Okay. So, my name is Chef Dulce Jimenez. I am a certified health coach. I focus on helping pregnant women to have a healthy pregnancy and to deliver healthy babies, as well as individuals and families that are going through illness or are in serious commitment to prevent diabetes, hypertension, and all those nasty illnesses that we don't need. And they are preventable through nutrition. So I help you to implement wellness in your kitchen, in your cooking. So let's start with a self-reflection. So even if you're not pregnant, I want you to think about and self-reflect. How can the state of your health affect your pregnancy and your baby? And if you are not pregnant, how can the state of your health affect your overall life and happiness and living in your optimal state? So let's take a few seconds to think about it. Um, and I'm giving you a little bit of perspective. Uh, at my 55 years old, the state of my health can really, really prevent me to enjoy running with my grandkids or dancing with my husband and cooking the long hours that I love to cook. Sometimes I cook 8, 10 hours in a kitchen and standing up. If I will not be in a good state or optimal state of health, I will not be able to accomplish that. So think about that for you, the things that you love to do. What can the state of your health hinder you from doing? Because sometimes we don't think about this until it's too late, until we are sick. Then we think about it. Okay. So, how do you know you are in good health? So, an easy way to know if you're in good health is to make an honest inventory of what I call the 4 pillars of health. The 4 pillars of health are lifestyle, how we live, exercise, how we move, attitude, how we think, and nutrition, how we eat. These 4 pillars of health can give you an indication on how you're currently living your life and can easily pinpoint or point out areas of improvement. So let's deep dive into each pillar of health. So following the 4 pillars of health is a holistic approach to living with optimal health. When you look at lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition with an open mind and honestly, you can know and you will know if you are really living in optimal health. And it is not about being skinny or about dieting. It's about being healthy so you can sustain a healthy baby and at the same time prevent complications and illnesses such as diabetes and hypertension. And if you're watching this class and you're not pregnant, it's the same thing. It's not about being skinny, not about dieting. It's about being healthy so you can sustain the life of your dreams. Like you can prevent complications and illnesses that will not sustain you to do what you love to do. So let's go over each one of the pillars. So lifestyle refers on how you choose to divide your time between work, relaxation, and sleep, as well as the choices you make regarding alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. While you're pregnant, these choices become even more critical because everything you take into your body will affect your unborn child. In addition, it is important to make sure that you're getting enough rest while your body is growing your baby. And it's the same thing when you're not pregnant. These choices are going to affect you. The way you sleep, the way you relate to alcohol, tobacco, and drugs, and the way you care for your overall lifestyle. Because every little habit will create a dent in your health. Good habit or not so good habit. The second pillar of health is exercise. So, exercise refers to being physically active, which is important for your physical as well as your mental health. Particularly when you're pregnant, regular exercise can help you feel good about your changing body. But exercise regulates sleep cycles, your mood, your digestion, your circulation. So exercise has so many advantages. When you're pregnant or not, exercise is kind of the fountain of youth. I live in a 65 plus 55, not 65. I'm not 60 yet. 55 plus community. And I see seniors of 80 years old exercising better than me. And I was like, oh my goodness. I see 80-year-old neighbors running, bicycling, doing Pilates, and dancing, and it's really amazing. And every time I ask them, because I always have to ask them, were you as active as you are now before? And the majority of them were active. One of my neighbors, particularly, she goes to the gym 2 hours a day, and she's 77 years old, and I cannot do an hour, or I do an hour, but no more than that. And she goes twice during the day. So, but she was very active through her life. So for me, exercise is so important for all stages in life. And when you're pregnant, it's not a matter of joining a gym and start running or doing those things. But if you were as that active, unless your doctor tell you the contrary, it's okay for women to continue exercising. However, if you have never exercised, you need to be more careful, starting by walking, stretching, doing some yoga, and being very mindful with your posture and how you um, handle your regular basis. So the third pillar of health is attitude. And it refers to the attitude you have towards your pregnancy, but also overall in your life. And also the changes in your body, not only when you're pregnant, but when you're growing old. This refers to keeping your mind healthy and your outlook positive, especially while your body is going through so many changes at once. It is important to stay positive and have a healthy perspective about the changes and challenges that you might be going through. So, this is a very important pillar. And this also refers to regulating your stress. When you have an attitude of gratitude instead of an attitude of worry and fear, um, it makes hormonally and it makes your body change. Um, it makes your body react to things um, more dramatically, that everything is a disaster, like my granddaughter said, it's a disaster. I went through, actually, in December, I was hospitalized with colitis, and it was a mild colitis. And I know that I might have my colon inflamed because I eat a lot of raw vegetables, especially broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. I love raw vegetables and also beans and spicy food. So I knew I had a mild inflammation, but that actually I enjoy spending a few days in the hospital, being cared for, resting, eating just liquid, and it forced me to stop. That's the way I saw it. I said, this is an opportunity for me to take a break. Because sometimes I'm going, and I don't stop. And like I used to do, have a day with fasting or liquid. And that is important to reset your health. And let me tell you, my digestion have improved a lot after those days that I spent not eating solid food and caring for being hydrated. So that attitude helped me recover super fast as well. So everything that you see as bigger as it is will have a bigger impact in your health. And the last pillar, but it's not the least important, is actually the one I focus the most, is nutrition. Everything you eat while pregnant matters more than ever. Everything you eat matters, but when pregnant, even more. Now we're talking about another human being. It refers to your body's intake of nutrients to foster a healthy pregnancy. During pregnancy, your body will work to provide all the essential nutrients for your baby, which means that you will have to make sure that you're consuming nutritional foods anytime you're feeding yourself and staying away from foods that provides no nutritional value or that can harm both of you. So it's even more important because you're caring for another human being. But nutrition is the fuel of your body, and it will definitely affect each and every organ and your cells, your hormones. Everything is affected by what you put in your mouth, what you eat. So paying attention to these four pillars of health will keep you in optimal health. And ignoring these pillars of health, especially when it comes to nutrition, it can put you in the path from health to illness. So when you pay conscious attention to your lifestyle, exercise, your attitude, and your nutrition, you will keep yourself and your baby in optimal health. So let's go over what it means living in optimal health, right? In general terms, not only when you're pregnant, living in optimal health means that you're living at your utmost potential. You are living in an energetic body. You feel energized. You can do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. You can perform your work and take care of yourself and your baby. You have a glowing skin and hair. You have no signs of rash, skin disease, or dryness. You have a soft, glowing skin. Your hair is not falling and is glowing and grows strong. Also, you have a good health, good digestion. That is gut health. So you go to the bathroom at least once a day with a good amount. I know we never want to talk about that, but that is so important. Even if you go more than once a day, it's even better. Some people don't know that they should go once a day, not once a week or 3 times a week. Every day, 1, 2, or 3 times a day. When you do not have indigestion, reflux, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, or all those things, mind you, this is different from allergies to foods. When you're allergic to an ingredient, these symptoms can show up, and that is why it's important to be conscious about your gut health, to identify if certain foods are not doing good to your digestion. For example, what just happened to me. I should have more portion control on raw foods and at least cook my those ingredients like um, the broccoli and the cauliflower, those things, cook in a little bit more and be more mindful. So not everybody goes through that sensitivity. Some people can eat really spicy foods, other people cannot. So you need to know your gut health and know what is good for you and what is not. So when you're living in optimal health, you have a happy mood. You feeling good mood regularly. Of course, I'm not talking if you're going through certain challenges in life or you go through pregnancy. Pregnancy could affect your mood because of the um, hormonal imbalances. We're going to look at that in a few slides. So when you feel optimistic and excited for each new day, you are free from depression, anxiety, and you're sleeping well. That means that you're living in optimal health. And you have a strong heart. Um, you have no signs of high blood pressure or cardiac conditions and heart diseases. You have strong bones, you can exercise, you feel strong while you're doing your day to day activities, and you have a good sexual drive, you're happy, thriving sexual being, and you are growing old, active, and thriving. So, this is in general. I know that when you're pregnant, these things could not be in optimal because of hormonal fluctuation. And that's what you need to know your numbers. Knowing your numbers is critical for optimal health. When you're running your car every day and do not stop to put gas, or you don't stop for oil change or a tune up, your car will get damaged and will eventually stop working. So it's the same with the human body. You get to give good fuel for energy in terms of food. And you need to check how is your body doing by knowing your numbers and measures with different tests that might identify any irregularity. So you should know your blood pressure and your oxygen levels. That is something that some people never ever looked into. And suddenly they can have um, an, um, an aneurysm or stroke or something, and they never knew that they were having a high blood pressure. More important when you're pregnant, you should check those things. knowing your vitamins, if you have any vitamin deficiency, especially vitamin B12, vitamin D, minerals, especially when you're pregnant, calcium, iron, potassium. But actually, they noticed that my potassium was a little bit low. Well, I was going through this condition a few weeks ago, and they gave me an IV with potassium. And let me tell you, I felt the difference. I felt so much better after. Um, so also tests like the A1C. The A1C is a test that is a simple blood test that measures your average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. And it is one of the commonly used tests to diagnose prediabetes and diabetes. And it's also the main test to help you control and manage your diabetes. And this is something that if you're diabetic, your health provider will be constantly checking to manage your care. And higher A1C levels are linked to diabetes complication. So reaching and maintaining your individual A1C goal is important if you have diabetes or if you're not. It's equally important. If your A1C levels are high, and you don't know that you're diabetic, so your doctor might follow up with a full 4 to 6 hours blood glucose test to confirm or disregard if you're diabetic. They will give you some kind of solution, very sweet solution, and take your blood test every hour or test your blood every hour. And I did that a year ago. All my family is diabetic, so I do that test every 3 years. And I always check my A1C levels at the beginning of the year. I do all this testing. Your blood glucose is what I just explained, that you should check if you have irregular or too high A1C levels. Also, your BMI. Your BMI is a useful measure of overweight and obesity. It is calculated from your height and your weight. And the BMI is an estimate of body fat and a good gauge of your risk for diabetes and heart diseases that can occur with more body fat. So when you start a pregnancy with a high BMI, you must be extra careful with how much calories you're intaking and regulating your meals so you obtain the nutrients that you need for your baby's development without getting extra fat and calories that will significantly increase your weight. You don't have to gain more than 25 to 35 pounds when you are pregnant. And I see some women can gain 60, 80 pounds, which is really high. And the last one is hormone imbalances. Hormone imbalances can happen when you're going through a puberty, when you're in your teens, when you are in your 40s, you can start perimenopause, actually in your 30s, because I had hormone imbalances in my 30s. I started perimenopause in my 30s. So when you know if you have hormone imbalances and you get tested, you will understand what's going on. So understanding hormone imbalances when you are pregnant and knowing that it is normal to have these hormone imbalances will bring you peace of mind. And although it might not avoid some of the symptoms in any stage, like when you're going through menopause or when you're going into puberty or when you're going into pregnancy, you may not avoid those symptoms, but you will at least know what is going on in your body. And when you're aware of symptoms and what is going on in your body, and what may bring this hormonal imbalances, You will have reassurance that you're going, whatever you're going through will pass, and you can take action with natural remedies, stress relief techniques, exercising, eating better, or eating foods that will support what you're going through. So when you know you have power, knowledge is power. And you should know your numbers at all stages in life. So, what is the only proven way of eating that consistently promotes optimal health? I want you to think about it, write it in your in your journal, put it in the chat if you're here live with me and if you're watching this on YouTube. Think about what is the only proven way of eating. Mindful, I'm not talking about dieting, way of eating that consistently promotes optimal health. So if you said eating more fruits and vegetables, you guessed it. There's so many diets nowadays. Oh my God. I get worried about how confused we get um, by just, you put diet in Google, so many different things, and they all have a lot of proven um, um, and people that are done great in those diets. Keto diets, oh my God, the paleo diet, the vegan, vegetarian. I'm not suggesting and inviting you to have to be something, to be vegan, to be in keto diet, to be in paleo, all those things. I really believe that there's only one diet that is proven to be the best. Because diets can have different effects on different people. But when you increase the consumption of real plant-based ingredients and foods, that is the only way of eating that has consistently proven to avoid or even reverse certain illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, skin disorders, and many more. Please note that I'm not referring to become vegan or vegetarian or avoid eating meat or all those diets that I just mentioned. I am suggesting and inviting you to have a diet that is high in real plant foods, which are fruits, vegetables, legumes, grain, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, all those things. And cook more at home with meals that are focused on foods for a joyful, energetic body. There are plenty of variety of vegetables and fruits that you can use. And I know we don't use even a quarter of the amount of fruits and vegetables available. Include whole grains, beans, legumes, seeds, nuts, healthy fats from plants, herbs and spices, and minimal amounts of lean animal source of protein. There are 30,000 edible plant species that exist, and we don't eat even a quarter of them. Some of us are only eating based on what we know in our culture. Some people only use one or two herbs. There's so many amazing herbs with so many different flavors, or one or two different spices. Spices are also full of nutrients and enzymes that helps your body and regulates your body with different functions. So herbs as well, they have enzymes and plant nutrients that also help your body and your cells and also give you even oxygen. So water, so many good things that plants provide besides just those nutrients that were more common known like carbs or protein, vitamins, minerals. All those things are amazing and we need them, those essential nutrients. We need more than that. Every color of a plant food bring you different nutrients, phytonutrients, and enzymes and things that you cannot get from just eating one variety. And you're limiting your meals to rice, same beans, same meats, maybe tomatoes and lettuce. That's the same thing some people have been eating for years. Um, you are depleting yourself of an array of nutrients that exist and that you can take advantage of that. And even more, you have more pleasure in eating. That's what I'm saying. When you don't like plain water, you can experiment um, making water tasty and with putting herbs and spices and fruits and boiling them, and then strain them, and they become a juice. I did the other day. I wash my pineapple very well. I peel it. I boil that peel of the pineapple with star anise, ginger, and cardamom, dry spices, and root vegetables. I boil it for an hour. Then I stop and let it cool it down. Then I strain it and I put it in my refrigerator and I drink that water. It was delicious. It was sweet and a little bit spicy with the ginger. And I drink that water super fast. So I know that I like that and I always do that every other 3 days. I take my pineapple water. So you can experiment with this array of ingredients that we have and start learning like, oh, I love this. I'm going to try this again. This works for me. So I hope I have inspired you to follow some of these tips and suggestions. And I want to close the class um, with some exercise for you. So I'm going to, as I said, to close this class, giving you an exercise. It's a journaling exercise to write your expectations for this year. Take some time to reflect on what you learned today um, by, answering some of the questions that we asked during the class. Why are you taking this session? Um, what will you do to ensure to eat more fruit and vegetables this week? And what pillars of health practice will you do this week? If any area that you saw that honestly you might be ignoring, you're ignoring some lifestyle, some habits, or exercise, your attitude, your nutrition, then take that time to set a goal. And when you're setting this goal, ask yourself, what can I do now? A very small step. Setting a goal is an important part of making sustainable changes. Why do you go down somewhere? You will see it every day. Maybe stickers or go out and buy something for you every time you do what you said you were going to do. Motivating yourself is important. I don't believe in making big New Year's resolutions. I rather you to you will take one step at a time. This week, I will focus on drink one glass more of water. That's it. This week, I will walk every day 10 minutes while I talk to a friend. It is so doable. It's very different than saying I'm going to walk an hour every day. It never works. Life days get in the way. If you start saying every day I'm gonna set my timer for 10 15 minutes while I talk to someone, and that is doable. If I'm going to drink a few more cups of water, I'm going to experiment on making my water more flavorful this week. So one thing at a time. There are 365 days this year. If you make one one habit, one thing that you do every single day, at the end of the year, you will have accomplished great things. I am sure. I believe in it, and I am here to support you. I hope to see you again in another class. Come back to my YouTube channel to um, find those topics that are interesting to you. Thank you so much for being with here tonight, and Happy New Year. Ciao.